wonder, Tucker, where this leaves the future of the MAGA movement. I mean,
the future of the MAGA. Well, that's over. There's no future of the MAGA movement. Obviously, we're done.
This war caused the end.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, what is the MAGA movement? Trump has defined it as whatever he wants. Well, it's not a movement.
But you believed in it.
Well, I never understood what it was.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I never understood what it was.
I beg your pardon?
No, I never believed in MAGA. I believe in making America great again. I certainly believe in its literal definition. But its operational definition was never clear. What I believe in is putting your country first. If you're leading your country, of course, its concerns are at the top of your list of concerns, in the same way that your children's concerns are more important, your children's needs are more important to you as a parent than your neighbor's kids' needs and concerns. You're the parent. That's nature. You don't have to hate your neighbor's kids to love your own. You can love all kids. But if it comes down to it, you put your kids first because you're their parent. And that same worldview has to be the way the U.S. government operates in order to be legitimate. And that's what America First means. And so I will never stop believing that. I think every other American believes that too. The phrase America First scares people because it's like Nazi or something, but like in real life, there's no other way to run a government. And I still believe that. And this war was the most obvious betrayal of that. We didn't go to war to protect our own interests. We went to war to serve Israel's interests. They've said that out loud. So this is not a conspiracy theory.
So basically, you supported a movement where you had no idea what the purpose or the goal was. It just sounded so good to you, you just went with it, and you told all of your followers, come and support this. This is definitely what we want.
You're goddamn right.
Tucker Carlson, my God. He's just flip-flopping back and forth.
Here we have a guy who has built his entire brand around being never woke. Yeah, he just announced that he's voting Democrat in November.
Truth is, I haven't done a 180. Donald Trump is not fulfilling his campaign promises.
Which ones exactly? Border security? Delivered. DEI and woke policies demolished? Delivered. Tariffs? Delivered. Even if the liberal activist judge are trying to stop them, he still delivered.
Except no the fuck he didn't. Hi, Salty Mama. Did you need an adult to explain to you all the broken promises that Trump made for you guys? Is that something you need? Okay, how about lower prices on day one? How about no new wars? Yeah, he broke that promise so hard that this is how you guys cope with it. Well, he didn't start a new war. He started an old war, okay? He never promised no old wars. Or how about lowering your energy prices by 50% in the first year? Uh-oh, total opposite of that happened. Or what about free IVF? Salty Mama, did you get your free IVF yet? I didn't get mine. It must have gotten lost in the mail, along with my $5,000 Doge check. Now, Mama, I'm sure it's very sad when someone in your cult wakes up and leaves your cult, but the final straw for Neverwoke was he's a big Thomas Massie supporter. And Trump excommunicated Thomas Massie from the party. Why again? Oh, because he wanted to release those files. Yeah, Salty Mama, it is no secret that your favorite president has now excommunicated anybody from your party who wanted to release those files. He's gone after Nancy Mace, Marjorie Trader Brown, as your child president calls her, Thomas Massie, and Lauren Boebert, all the people who wanted to release the files. And like a supervillain, he wants to get rid of those people, and that's the guy that you support. Anyway, Salty Mama, enjoy the cult while it lasts, because every day more and more people are leaving, because anyone with a backbone knows that they've been lied to. All right, Mama, as you like to say, this has been fun. Have a day.
Surprising enough, Neverwoke also commented on this, saying, now MAGA hates me as much as the left. To be honest with you, Neverwoke did a lot. He was hosting MAGA meetups at Disney. You had grown-ass adults at Disney spewing their political beliefs at a place that's meant for kids. And also during the No Kings March as well, when you went and harassed that woman.
Find this girl because she punched me in the face while I was at the Tampa No Kings protest.
Let me get this straight. You and your buddy here went to a No Kings protest and positioned yourself directly in the path of a march. You set your phone down on the ground, again, directly in the path of a march, so you could film yourself doing your little Trump dance. When you were done, you say that these two girls attacked you. This one knocked your hat off, and this one, according to you, punched you multiple times in the neck and face. Rather than unleashing your awesome jujitsu skills on them, you instead found a cop so you could file a report. And then you jumped in your car and drove directly to Disney. And then, of course, you went online and posted several videos recapping the incident and asking your MAGA friends for their help finding that girl so you could press charges. You might want to hold off on that because what you guys did is called incitement. You provoked those people. And if that girl and her friend are ever asked to give their side of the story to the police, you guys could be facing charges of your own. Now, I could point out how this whole story makes you look like a whiny, pathetic little crybaby man-child, but I'd actually like to thank you for sharing it, because you illustrated so perfectly the kind of crap that those of us who marched in the first, second, and those of us who intend to march in any forthcoming No Kings protests had to put up with. I don't know if you noticed this, but there wasn't a single protester arrested. Only a handful of MAGA chuds like you who showed up just to hassle people.
He got his ass cooked. There's a few feelings. Like, first of all, it's disgust and remorse, and also like a sense of dissociation. Like, I feel like it's not me, even though I know it's me, but I feel remorse that that's out there for my kids to see, that they're going to see that I said things that were so harmful that I didn't consider how it would be perceived by other people who were impacted by those things, that I was speaking on things that I had no business speaking on.
Why'd you do it, though?
I think that's such a multifaceted question. Why did I get involved in this at 18? I think I was incredibly broken. I think hurt people. I think I really wanted some sense of belonging, and that's where I found myself at that age. Was with MAGA. There was a lot of reasons I did it, and then once you get to a certain point where you're in deep, and even if you want to change your mind, you can't just change your mind once you're in that deep. You have to blow up your whole life, because it's where your finances are, your social community. It's very much a cult in the way that the entire architecture of it, you are enwrapped in this. And they don't let you leave gracefully. They don't let you leave kindly.
This is a cult.
Yeah. Once they're not kind people. I always say, there's so many people who are like, why didn't you leave sooner? Well, they're simultaneously saying that these people are violent tyrants who shoot people in the streets and arrest their enemies. That's exactly part of the reason why I didn't leave sooner. There's this aspect of fear that overtakes you because they are scary individuals.
Okay, just watch this. Donald Trump's worst nightmare is here. His once loyal MAGA base is turning on him hard. Everywhere he posts, Truth Social, Instagram former supporters flood the replies screaming, "Epstein! Epstein!" while blasting him for betraying promises of affordability and ending forever wars. The White House is drowning in paranoia, convinced the very influencers Trump once weaponized against his enemies are now running foreign psyops against him. Creepy midnight posts calling a donor's wife great daughter, bizarre propaganda about 1950s values, and delusional claims about vandals poisoning the reflecting pool with algae only fuel the rage. MAGA influencers are savaging J.D. Vance as humiliated, while scandals swirl around Tulsi Gabbard's cult ties and endless Israel pandering. As Trump rots in paranoia, real people like Army veteran Bobby Lepin are fighting back locally against corporate Democrats and MAGA arsonists, proving Americans are sick of being stepped on. The cult is cracking, and Trump knows it.
The fact that MAGA was actually commenting all of that stuff on his page means that this whole time they believed he was on the list. But they were making videos gaslighting us, saying that it didn't exist, and they were just regurgitating the same talking points he was saying. Now they want to weaponize it against him because obviously the promises didn't come to fruition. This is why you all deserve what you guys got right now. Toxic Trump has taught we the people about government corruption. Corruption exists everywhere, but somehow people thought it just didn't exist in America. Now you can see it full-fledged right in your face. And then you have another Delulu here saying, I don't know a single person that voted Trump and regrets it.
And you shut the fuck up! Huh?
Here we are, coming up on 250 years of the greatest country in the history of the world, and we only have 27% of Democrats who say that they would display the American flag on the 4th of July.
MAGA Crash Outs, episode 43. Sometimes I really wish these people would just listen to a guy like me and just put the bullshit aside, because they can figure out that something is wrong. That just fundamentally something is going wrong, but they can never place what it is.
This is nuts. And then the fact that there's only 64% of Republicans is also concerning to me. Guys, I bet you run this same poll back in 1980, and we're at 90% for both, probably, relatively.
Actually, it was 78% in 1980 who were very proud to be American. But you don't have to go that far back to find 90% approval, as that peaked in the early 2000s at 90%. So that tells you something has fundamentally shifted in that period of time, and it's affecting, however lightly, both sides of the aisle, right? So something must have changed in a short period of time to cause that sentiment to shift the way it has, right?
Only 64% of Republicans even. This is sad. There is a movement across this country, starting with their government schools, of teaching the youth in this country, and they've been doing it for decades, that they should not be proud to be of America and what this country is. It's mind-blowing to me. This is so discouraging.
Nope, it's government schools. They can never get beyond the propaganda. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump going full mask-off fascist and causing people to ask some hard questions about the country they live in. Nope, it's government schools. That's really the genius of Republicans embracing wedge issues. They can deploy a different issue for every last legitimate grievance. Why are people losing faith in the American experiment? It's those dirty government schools teaching kids to hate America, which is complete bullshit. The primary purpose of K through 12 is to propagandize people into the American myth, plus furthers their goal of completely destroying public education in favor of private charter schools so they can get a fuck ton of money. The real reason is because this is the American perestroika, the period of time in which the Soviet Union collapsed. Every nation is built on a myth, and that nation must constantly re-legitimize itself in the eyes of the people. The United States stopped doing that even before Trump. They didn't think they had to. Some of the primary beneficiaries of the Soviet Union just existing were Western workers. That's why they made the concessions they did to avoid some kind of socialist uprising. Then the USSR collapsed, complete dominance of the neoliberal economic order, and they just stopped even trying to legitimize themselves, just leaned on old propaganda from the New Deal era. Now everybody is hearing this myth that is completely incompatible with the reality before them, both economically and politically, in the form of Donald Trump. The founding principles we are taught in those schools are not compatible with anything. All you guys have to offer is fake performative patriotism and fucking litmus tests like standing for the anthem. There's really nothing left to be proud of. And since this system just doesn't feel the need to legitimize itself, we will not view it as legitimate. And trust me, that's getting worse for you guys each and every day, especially what's going on right the fuck now. Just dig a little bit deeper, y'all. It's usually the fault of the people you're voting for.
Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are about all of the MAGA who are leaving MAGA. Leave your comments down below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. If it's your first time to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Also, check out this video. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. But nevertheless, I'll see you guys when I see you. Peace.